Hi, I'm Chris, and I'm heading up the art department on Elite Dangerous. Today, I'm going to take a look at the capital ship video that we released a while back. We'll see how it relates to the game, and how we are progressing with the in-game visuals. If you've been following our newsletters, you'll have seen many sketches and paintings produced by our talented concept team. These pieces let us try out ideas and styles, and once approved, serve as a guide for the look of the game. It's an ongoing and collaborative process. Whilst modelling and texturing, we'll take screenshots of in-game assets and pass them back to the concept team for a paint-over. With the video, we extended this approach, adding animations so we could see our concepts in motion. Parallel with the ongoing development of the game, a small team of artists and animators put together the capital ship battle. We scripted scenes that could be replayed time and time again, letting artists focus on the details of the scene, testing and comparing different techniques. This motion concept approach lets us get ahead of the game and previs elements that are not yet supported in engine. This was the case with the cockpit and HUD, which were rendered in 3ds Max and composited over the in-game footage. These tests convinced the team that seeing the player's cockpit in-game would greatly help the player's immersion without spending code time testing the concept. Despite the limited graphics of the day, the dashboard and the 3D radar seen in the original Elite lent an immersive quality to the classic game by putting the player in the cockpit. This sense of immersion in the in-game world is key to the Elite experience, old and new. We want to push this further, letting the player share the pilot's point of view, breaking the fixed forward view with responsive and natural camera motion that mimics the pilot's head movements. These range from a soft sway and bob in response to a course correction, to the player's head pushing back in their headrest when accelerating, or even a nearby explosion jolting the cockpit. As soon as we added the cockpit in-game, it really came to life. Even in its most basic implementation, it suddenly felt like we were really piloting a spaceship. It's also opened up a world of possibilities that we're still exploring, though we have yet to get approval for the 0G fluffy dice. Damage effects, atmospherics and lighting, together with sound design, are all coming together to make the cockpit feel like a real space. The cockpit has always been designed with the 3D device in mind, and it's been great to see it working on 3D televisions and on the Oculus Rift. We don't see the cockpit as just an overlay on the game, but an integral part of the experience, with aural and visual clues to aid gameplay, together with lighting, sound design and effects used to highlight damage, proximity and ship status. The player might have to take action to solve a problem within their cockpit, such as a fire, a toxic leak from their cargo, or maybe even an outbreak of trumbles, as seen in the original Elite. To add to this realism, the dashboard is scuffed and scratched, and has running repairs made by the pilot. Careful attention was paid to the materials to make them recognisable and believable, and the max rendered overlay is now serving as a guide as we implement the in-game version. Going forward, we plan cockpits as varied as the ships themselves, each suited to the design and function of that vessel. We decided to go with a holographic heads-up display and instrumentation for a number of reasons. Firstly, it's visually interesting and exciting, which is a good place to start. It also feels like a logical progression from today's glass cockpits and augmented reality devices, giving the pilot, and so the player, all the advantages of an in-world display. Panels can easily be resized to fit content, and data can be intelligently placed anywhere in the game world. This approach also lets us fade panels and widgets dynamically to prevent the player's screen space from getting too cluttered. The holograms are in-world constructs that cast light on surrounding surfaces. Taking damage or running low on power might well cause your instrumentation to glitch or degrade. Having the information positioned in 3D space around the player really comes into its own when we add head look to the first-person camera view. These displays are not hands-on. The ship's flight is managed by the pilot through more tangible handheld controls. When the pilot is added, you'll see their hands manipulating twin input devices, giving the player a more tactile and direct connection with the ship. In the event of a failure in the systems that generate the HUD, the ship could still be flown using these controls, although it would take one hell of a pilot to pull it off. The workspace is linked to the pilot and follows them as they progress up the ship roster, subtly adapting to each new ship they purchase. Longer term plans see the layout reconfigured to give the pilot information in other scenarios. The radar provides a strong link to the original game, but isn't included for nostalgia's sake alone. The faux 3D nature of the original golf stick radar was ahead of its time and perfectly suits the holographic concept. When lighting the scenes, we wanted to make a clear connection between the action happening in space and the cockpit interior. Main lights such as the sun cast shadows into the cockpit, while other light sources such as explosions or ship's engines light the dashboard. The player's ship also lights the environment around it. The forward searchlights catch the walkways on the Federal battleship. This interactive lighting is present on the non-playable ships as well. Look carefully and you'll see the Empire fighters' engines lighting the launch bays as they emerge. Careful attention was paid to the cockpit glass to make it feel solid and responsive to lighting, with the sun catching on micro-scratches in the canopy, and a reactive environment map subtly reflecting the ship interior. Although the video concentrates on combat, that's only one part of the game. Going forward, we will continue to motion concept elements such as trading, mining, and docking, though it's unlikely these videos will be as visually polished. The game and engine are now more developed, so quick renders and animations are enough to test out ideas. Looking back, we've come a long way, but there's still a lot to do. In fact, I'd better get back to it. Thanks for listening.